This week on Storyboard, we speak to Vipul Prakash, Senior VP Beverage Category PepsiCo India, about how the company is meeting the changing consumer demand by offering a portfolio of choices to them. And we also take a look at who won it big at Abby's at Goa Fest 2018. Hello and welcome to Storyboard. This is Shibani Gharat. When asked about the changing consumer preferences in beverages today, Vipul Prakash, Senior VP Beverage Category PepsiCo India, said that a portfolio of options plays a larger role with the consumers. In this conversation that he had with Storyboard editor Anant Rangaswamy, he says that the company that can offer a portfolio to its consumers will definitely succeed. Do we foresee a few new additions in the coming months from PepsiCo? Well, let's take a look at this chat to find out more.
Hello Vipul, and good to talk to you as always.
Hi Anand.
Good to talk to anybody in the cola business. Yeah?
In the beverage business.
For you, I first started talking to you, I think, when you were in the cola business only.
That's true.
But it's a tough business today. So lots of changes that PepsiCo is doing. So give me a quick sort of highlight of the focus areas for you.
Yeah, and so yes, it's very challenging and interesting times for the beverage business. I think like in any other industry, the consumer is moving on. And one of the things which we have very clearly seen is the consumer is looking for more choices. There's no question about that. 20 years ago, maybe when you and I first met, if there was any beverage you needed when you were feeling thirsty, you would have a Pepsi or, you would have a 7-Up.
Or your competitor.
Or our competitors, to be fair. Because that was the one beverage which was safe, bottled, tasty, enjoyable. Okay. So whether you played sports and you were feeling tired or, you were having food, you would pick up a CSD.
Right.
I think as things have moved and, Indians have become exposed to the world and, they've become better traveled, you realize that, now if I have just played a game of badminton, then perhaps Gatorade is a better drink.
Right.
If I've woken up early in the morning, then, a hydration of water is a better thing.
Right.
So I think we are definitely seeing the portfolio play a larger role with our consumers today.
Right.
And that's something which we have also been trying to evolve with that. In some cases, we have been ahead of the consumers. In some cases, we have been behind the consumer and trying to catch up with this change of habits.
Right.
So overall beverage incidence, overall consumption of beverages, very healthy, growing. But any company, for us to succeed, needs to offer a choice of portfolio. And that is our focus right now.
Right.
CSDs will grow. We have very low per caps in India compared to the rest of the world. But it will not be only CSDs that will grow.
Right.
A consumer at some point of time will want a juice, will want a dairy product, will want a hydration product, will want a sports drink, an energy drink. And I think in the long run, whatever company is able to offer a good, affordable, tasty portfolio of beverages will succeed.
Right.
To that extent, yes, we have been also making a change in our portfolio.
Right. Now, tell me, we're going to see a rash of launches. Some of them have happened, some of them are yet to happen in this season. So, if you carry me through those, starting with your energy drink, going to your water and all that is in between, and carry me through why you're doing it. I mean, what is the consumer need that you're seeing that is prompting you to say, hey, this product will work for us?
Let me say this. The need for different beverages was always there.
Right.
It is just that the consumers did not have an offering which was satisfying, which was satisfying those needs.
Right.
Let me take the example of our recent launch, which is Sting, which you would have seen this, the energy drink.
Yeah, sure.
In India and, with the can and the PET format.
Right.
Now, you know that Indians are perhaps the hardest working people in the world in terms of the hours we keep, you know. And we are a group of strivers who want to continuously do well. Right. So, the need was always there. We want to keep on going and push ourselves to the limit. However, the market did not develop as much, the category, because affordability was an issue.
Right.
Consumers wanted an energy drink, but they were finding it a bit too much to pay for the choices available in the market.
Right.
And therefore, we said, okay, this is a market which we believe will grow in the future.
Right.
And therefore, we have given a very affordable offering.
Right.
In terms of Sting, is just, the PET bottle is just ₹30.
Right.
And therefore, that's what we are finding, that in the last 6 months, we have really seen the category grow.
It's classic marketing, no?
Absolutely.
You get the price right, there's a market.
Absolutely.
You get the price wrong, and there's no market.
And we got the absolutely price right, and it's not that we are getting our consumers from a competitive brands today.
Right.
This is a whole set of consumers who always wanted an energy drink.
Right.
But were waiting for the right price, to come.
Sure.
So that's one, for example. Now, that's something which we are very excited about.
Right.
Then we also believe that, as the consumer grows, they will start asking for lower sugar products.
Right.
Okay. In some cases, there are a set of consumers who today are asking for it. Then there are, as the, health consciousness becomes higher, the consumers will look for a choice.
Right.
There will be times when they really want to relish the full taste of Pepsi or a 7-Up. There are times when they will want a Pepsi Black or a Diet Pepsi. Right. And there are times when they will ask for products which are actually different flavors.
Right.
Good tasting, but at the same time, zero sugar.
Right.
So, and that's why we have just launched a set of fizzy drinks under our brand Slice.
So what's the price point on this, Vipul?
So we are very, very pricing it again very affordably. This price is at rupees 12.
Right.
Okay. And we have a set of 7 flavors. And all of them have juice in them.
Right.
So again, catering to the consumers in the rural areas, etc., who have always wanted a healthy zero sugar product,
right.
but did not have the range to go with it, did not have an affordable price point. So 7 flavors at rupees 12 is what we believe really will unlock the whole rural India. And therefore we are really going through the wholesale channel and reaching areas where maybe our other products have either not reached or reached in smaller numbers.
Right.
So these two, Anant, really are the innovations where
Right.
we are placing emphasis on,
Right.
as far as 2018 is concerned.
Product innovations.
Yes.
Now we're talking about, let's get to marketing innovations. Your pairing of Pepsi with food, which you're getting into much deeper. So if you can take me through that.
That's great. And again, it's a continuation of the same thing. If you
Right.
really see, Pepsi and other cola brands, they are obviously the largest category of beverages in India and abroad. And as the whole beverage industry is getting into more choices, what we are realizing is that there are some occasions where each beverage has a very great right to succeed. Okay.
Right.
After sports, Gatorade, for example.
Right.
When we look at the cola business, the strongest right to succeed is with food.
Right.
And you can see that, you go to a KFC, or you go to a Pizza Hut or wherever.
Or you go to a
incidents-
McDonald's where it's your competitor, but
That-
you'll still
there
get
also.
you'll still get a cola.
Absolutely. Wherever there is.
Yeah.
And even if you go to PVR,
Yeah,
with the
sure.
movies, popcorn,
Right.
you have a pizza. With these, is very clearly cola,
Right.
which is still enjoyed by consumers.
Right.
And what we then said is, okay, fine, if that is the case, and we are looking at a full portfolio game to play, then let us promote Pepsi in the occasion where only Pepsi can win, really, okay,
Right.
within our. And of course, there are areas, there are countries where even 7-Up does very well with food, but predominantly it's a cola
Right.
game. So then we said, okay, now the issue and therefore the opportunity is we wanted to talk about Pepsi with food, but Pepsi has a very clear brand imagery.
Right.
It's slightly irreverent, and therefore we challenged our agency partners that okay, we want to do pairing with food, but we wanted to do in a very Pepsi tonality.
Right.
And I think they really did an excellent job
Right.
by coming up with this whole thing of, Kyu Suke Suke. It's a very great thing where, the whole insight was just as life is incomplete without friends, food is incomplete without Pepsi.
Right.
So why so dry, And I think that's something which we launched with the television commercial, with the
Right.
thing. And the more important thing is that if you activate an occasion, and that's what our learning is, when you activate an occasion, therefore what you do on the streets with eateries and all
Right.
is as important, if not more important, than just a TV commercial.
Right.
Because the TV commercial will, do something to remind people, but when they're having food,
Right.
when they're ordering on Zomato,
Right.
when they're standing in a queue to order at a KFC,
Right.
okay, that is when we have to make the
Almost a new moment of truth there.
absolute no moment, and it's not that consumers don't understand this, so we don't have to explain it to them. It's just a gentle reminder, and we have done very simple stuff because at the end of it we have to execute it at scale.
Right.
So small things like these sort of plates we are going and giving it to different eating joints.
Right. So the
across.
plates go with forks and knives, or
We have some, again. So anything which just reminds the consumers.
Right.
So when you go to a place where you have to order, you'll just find the person who takes the order wearing a small thing says, Kyu Suke Suke.
Right.
Okay. If it is a table ordering, you'll have things like a small, napkin or a salt and pepper holder saying Kyu Suke Suke.
Right.
So the whole idea is that consumers know,
Right.
but sometimes they have not ordered.
Right. Tell me, Vipul, one of the challenges with this is how do you measure it? Finally, it's easy to measure, say, TVC or impact of a TVC. How do you measure impact of, tens of thousands of plates you might have given away or tens of thousands of forks and knives?
Great question. Actually, if you ask me, as a marketeer, I will agree with your question, but as a businessman, I think it's far easier to measure the ROI of these things because it is the fastest conversion to volumes in those accounts.
Right.
So the only metric...
Do you see it that you place your plate somewhere and the sales go up?
Within 1 week.
Right.
Within 1 week. Now, honestly, if you put plates and you put some posters, I may not be able to sell it whether it is because of the plates or whether it's because of this thing. But if we have activated an eatery in the right manner, sales go up the next day.
Yeah.
It is as clear
as that.
As clear as that.
Right.
And that's something, and we are also offering a lot of value adds to the eateries. For example, you know that we did the whole thing about emoticons 2 years ago, a very successful thing on the bottle.
Yeah.
This year we have done another innovation and done something which is called the foodie cons.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we have taken about 100 food items which are popular in India and actually put them on our bottle. And the interesting thing here is it's our first geocoding encrypted promotion where if you buy a Pepsi bottle and let's say you are in Cuff Parade, okay, and you SMS the code to somebody to the number, you will find 20 deals around Cuff Parade where you can go to any eatery and maybe get a 20% off or a 15% off and all those things, okay? And it will be within, let's say, a 10-minute distance, so you can actually use it. It's great for our partners because they get increased footfall. It's great for the consumers because they get something for buying a Pepsi, and it allows us to cement the whole Q very well. So I think that's something which we are very excited about. It is something which we believe is a long-term platform.
So tell me how you see the season. We are in the middle of April, which is almost a show time for you. So life starts today. And
we have been lucky. Actually, the life has started a bit earlier this year. I think, the season has come in earlier.
And it's a hotter season.
It's hot season. We are seeing an uptake in the rural demand, which is an important part of our growth strategy. And which for the last 2 years was slightly subdued. Again, it's still early days, Anand, but I think the start to the year has been very good. The beverage business is looking up. The CSD business is looking up. And I think, this year, we expect to have a very good year. We have also started our marketing activations pretty early. We have been there with all of our brands from the 1st of March. And I think going by the way the March has gone, I think we are in for a good season, hopefully, and a good year.
Vipul, one of the differences between now and the previous years, you have no IPL linkage, which is good and bad in the sense you're not there, but it also frees a huge sum of money to do other things. So tell me how you're going to use that money.
No, sir, is the money, of course, yes. It's also the mind time of the teams, And we realized that while it was great to have a property in peak summer, what was also happening is the amount of attention it was taking away from actually our selling and marketing. So to me, what has come as more of a bonus in the last year or two has been the time of the field and the marketing teams. And therefore, we can concentrate that much on activating Pepsi with food, etc., etc. So it's I think cricket is here to stay. We are here to stay with cricket. But actually focusing on anchor occasions and building brand with purpose, we believe is giving us a very good return on investment. And we hope that this year, we'll be able to leverage that time and money available to give a better ROI for us.
And I'll pick from your last sentence something we wanted to speak about, brands with purpose. So let's talk about purposeful brands, your Mirinda and what they're doing for society and what you're doing with Fortis. So if you can carry us through what you're doing in those areas.
So, as we were talking about, this is a personal passion of mine. And I do not confuse brand with purpose to be CSR activity. To me, brand with purpose is a very simple thing. Are we making the lives of our consumers even that we bit better? If we are a brand with purpose. So we started this journey last year. And for a CSD brand, sometimes we used to question as to whether we can really also have a purpose. We took the plunge with Mirinda last year with the whole release pressure. And I think the response we got just reaffirmed my belief that, we can make a difference to the consumers' lives.
Tell me about the measurability of that. On what makes you say you have made a difference?
So on two things. One is obviously the sort of positive commentary we've had on social media. I can't think of another campaign which for 3 months our positive percentage was more than 99 in terms of millions of social comments which are going out there. And second obviously is on brand health. So there's a very clear correlation we have seen with the brand health where all the brand health metrics of Mirinda moved up last year. This year we have continued the same. The question we were asking ourselves last year was, okay, we have done a great job of getting the issue out in the open, but what have we done about it? So this time, that's why our partnerships, one with Fortis, to actually get a helpline for students and their parents. And Anand, again, we did not know whether it would be successful, but in the last 1 month, we have had 20,000 calls from about 600 cities around India, where either parents or students are calling for help. Right. So obviously it's an issue out there, and we believe in our very small manner, we have made a difference. We have also, tied up with Navneet Notebooks, who's the biggest stationery manufacturer, to actually make small notebooks which are, every 30 minutes, you have a break for 10 minutes for the, to do some puzzles and to just. So I think that's one area where you are very true to the brand tonality, where we are saying, that no pressure pandi, only pagal pandi.
Right.
So it's Mirinda, but Mirinda doing something for our consumers, which they are appreciating. Go and please look at the, our page or YouTube. The sort of outpouring of support from both the parents and the students is really heartwarming,
Right.
You believe you're doing something right.
Right.
Mountain Dew, which has always been for adventure, etc. Now we have shifted to this whole thing about saluting the risk takers of India. So we have always done for adventure and all. Now we are saying we will actually take real stories of Indians who have taken a risk. So the whole thing of Risk Utha Naam Bana, this time we are saluting Arjun Vajpayee, who's the youngest Indian to go for the mountaineering Grand Slam, and we salute him. And what we are doing is basically, in the biopic version, Hrithik is playing Arjun in the television commercial, but we have 18 more episodes on the net where you can follow as Arjun goes for his attempt on Kanchenjunga in May. So it's a real tribute, not only to Arjun but other sports people, other, which we believe is again making a difference. And if you are a consumer of dew, basically what we are taking is take a risk. And that's what Indians are ready for. So I think the whole thing about really being genuine and really talking to the consumers, trying to make their lives that wee bit better, I think is the direction which is paying us rich dividends, and we hope to continue it for the next, few years and get more of our brands into that. Gatorade, we have made in our mission to support athletes, who will make it to the 2020 games.
Right.
So we had Sindhu. Now we have just, partnered with Neeraj Chopra, who's a very promising javelin thrower. How can we make a small difference in the lives of these people, and therefore the lives of our consumers is where we are focusing on, and hope to continue the journey.
Perfect. Well, it's always an interesting conversation with Vipul in April. We'll talk again in September, October, when the fruits of all these activities are known or not known. I hope you achieve all the targets you've got.
Thanks, Anand, and I look forward to being with you again in September.
Look forward to consumers picking up stuff.
That would be the way. And thanks for your, partnership as always. Thanks.
Thank you.
It is time for us to take a short break. On the other side of this break, we get you all the action from Goa Fest 2018.